And we're going to get started because I'm starting a couple minutes late here. So yesterday, what we did was we talked about what the microbiome is. And you can, of course, click the video from yesterday and look at that when you get a chance. Of course, the microbiome is a community of microorganisms that exist in the human body. And we call it the body biome because you can have organisms existing pretty much anywhere in your body. The majority of them are existing in the digestive system, and they say 50% of our stool is actually microbiome. So yesterday we also talked about foods that provide food for these microorganisms, and we call those the prebiotics. So prebiotics include things like different types of greens, different allium family or onion family vegetables, and the most bang for the buck comes from artichoke. So you can look at the recording from yesterday again, and I'm going to be posting the Zoom recording from yesterday. I'll be posting that towards the end of the week on my YouTube channel, which is treatyourselftohealth.com. Or actually, treat yourself to health. And that's it on YouTube. And on, I'll probably put it on Facebook as well, on the group for my practice, or the group that I have on Facebook. If you'd like to be a member, just apply. And if you've been here on the Instagram group, I will allow you in. All right, so today we're going to talk about probiotics. So everybody is probably, out of all the things we're discussing this week, most people are probably aware of probiotics. And probiotics are actually microorganisms that companies package into capsules. They can also be microorganisms that are found on different foods, like fermented foods, like kimchi is one of the best fermented foods and has the highest concentration of lactobacilli, which are a bacteria that are found most often in the gut microbiome. So lactobacilli make up a majority of the bacteria that are found in the digestive system. However, there are hundreds of thousands of other ones. Sauerkraut is probably next best food. That's made from cabbage and also has high amounts of lactobacilli, but kimchi has more. And of course, other foods like yogurt, like miso from Japanese culture, which is a fermented bean. Mostly they make it with fermented soybeans, but it can be from black beans, garbanzo beans, different beans they can use to make miso with. And then there's foods like tempeh, which is a protein food that's made from soybean. And you may not be aware that tofu is also, you can get it fermented. It's harder to find fermented, but that's the healthiest form. And that's the form that people in Japan, Korea, and in Asia, mostly they're eating fermented tofu. So the tofu is partially digested, which is much healthier than eating the genetically modified soy that most Americans are eating. Okay, so what am I leaving out here? Kefir. So out of the dairy products that are used for probiotic use or for general use, kefir has the highest concentration of lactobacilli. So if you're going for the most bang for the buck in these foods that are probiotics, it will be kimchi and it will be kefir. Um, and kefir, you have to be able to tolerate dairy, protein, which is casein. If you have some lactose intolerance, you may want to get your doctor to test you for sensitivity to casein, just to make sure it's not a casein sensitivity. And casein is the protein that's in all types of milk. It doesn't matter if it's from a goat, cow, whatever, it's going to have casein as a milk protein. So, all right. So, and then let's talk about the probiotic capsules. So that's a whole wide world of complications. And that's the question that I get most often from people is what, probiotic do you recommend? So that's a hard question to answer because you actually need some information. And the information that we get from stool tests, although it can be helpful, it can also be delayed because your microbiome changes from day to day depending on what you're eating. So if something negative is showing up there and it takes the test a couple of weeks to come back, things may have changed by the time we get the results. But we do the best we can with the information that we have. Also, people can have dysbiosis or overgrowth or SIBO, which is an overgrowth in the intestine. It can be in the small intestine, it can be in the large intestine. So when folks have these overgrowth situations, they can have pockets of dysbiosis. It can be difficult to figure out where the problem is. We can get testing to try to figure that out. However, people will often cause their problem to be worse by taking a probiotic that is not suitable for the organism that they have overgrowth with. So what that means is, like, say for instance, if you had yeast overgrowth, and if you started taking different types of mushrooms are fungi, so they may make the situation worse. So, we have to know that. Some types of probiotics that are soil-based may be more helpful, and they contain spores. And these spores are generally going to help control populations that are overgrown. But still, if a person is having months to years of digestive system issues, they probably need to get help to figure out what's going on. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to be talking about postbiotics, and we'll kind of recap everything that we've talked about this week. And I want everyone that sees this to go and do your own research. Go and do some taste testing of probiotic foods and see what you like. I left out the liquid, most of the liquid foods. The liquids are drinks like kombucha, like kavita, or what do they call it? It's water, they call it water kefir. Water kefir does not have dairy, but it has lactobacilli that are cultivated in sugar water, sometimes in juice. And kombucha is a type of yeast that's cultivated in like a sugar water, a tea, a black tea, but you can also use rooibos or green tea to make kombucha. And the kombucha and the water kefirs, just like I was speaking of the probiotic capsules, can also cause further imbalances. Like if you have yeast and if you're drinking a lot of kombucha, kombucha contains a yeast that is supposed to be able to get things under control. However, it can add to a yeast problem if there is a significant yeast problem. And many people have yeast problems because of the processed carbohydrates and sugars in the American diet. So, all right, I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. I think today folks are watching the US Open, so I am going to sign off of here and look at the US Open myself. All right, have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.